We have the incredible privilege today to learn Maseches Taanis Daf Yotes. And the Mishnah beginning of the third parak, discusses the idea that if there's more than 40 days between rainfall, so let's say it rains the first time, and more than 40 days has gone by, and it has not rained a second time. So the Mishnah describes Masriyan. We begin to daven, we begin to say Anenu, we begin to fast, because we are afraid that this represents a food shortage. And it's interesting to note because in the first two prakim we discussed fast days as they apply to a lack of rain. It has not rained at all. Hasn't rained at all. And we know that in those fast days, when it hasn't rained at all, the fast days kind of unfold in a progression. First, the yechidim, that tzaddikim fast, but the regular people don't. And then even once the regular people begin to fast, the fast days are treated in a little bit more of a lenient fashion. Most activities are permitted except for eating and drinking. And then again, if there's still no rain, they increase in severity. But it's interesting to note that if it rained the first time, now 40 days go by and it hasn't yet rained again, we immediately start with the most severe forms of fast days. We go into the greatest intensity of fast days immediately. And it's interesting because, again, in the case in our Mishnah on Yotes, it's rained once. It's rained once already. So I would have thought that although we should start fasting, since it's been more than 40 days since the last rainfall, at the end of the day I would have thought that those fast days would be treated in a more lenient fashion. But alas, the Mishnah says that's not the case. And of course, the Mishnah itself explains, because the concern is if it rains the first time, that kind of gets food production, vegetation going, and if there's no follow-up rainfall within a timely fashion, you could lose all of that growth. And it could result, as the Mishnah said in about Sores, in a food shortage. That's the logic. But I thought, like Al Piyah Hashkafa, just when thinking about this as a life lesson, the Mishnah is also teaching us something incredibly profound, which is sometimes, the most disastrous life initiatives are those that have stalled starts. So I start something, and then I stop, and then I start it again, and then I stop, and I start, stop. And the truth is, I think all of us have experiences with life initiatives like that, and rarely do they ever succeed. Now, not suggesting, therefore, one put off their life initiatives, dreams, and aspirations altogether, and just wait to stop them, but it is an interesting yesod, that sometimes when you start something and then you stall out, you ruin the growth. It's hard to get back that momentum. It's hard to get back that movement when you had that first burst of energy, that first burst of rain, that first burst of nourishment for your dream, for your aspiration. You were going, and then you stop. We all know how it works. You don't just pick up where you left off. Often you have to start all over again. And how often does this happen in life? That we start and we stop, and we start and we stop. And the Mishnah tells us, if you start and stop the initiatives of life, they just never materialize. Which teaches us such an incredible Musar skill, that if we believe that something has to get done, we have to make it our business to get it done and to get it done now. If something is important enough for me to perform it, then at the end of the day, there can't be a delay. There can't be a wait. There can't be a stalling out on the process. Because when that happens, unfortunately, the sapling of potential never fully matures and never fully materializes. The Musar Haskell, the Mishnah, Maseches Taanis Daf Yotes teaches us, may we be Zoch and Yirtzeh Hashem. First of all, to have dreams and goals and aspirations. But once we have them, Yirtzeh Hashem, may HaKadosh Baruch Hu give us the koach to start and not stop until we finish. Wishing everyone a wonderful day and a lichtige Chanukah.